Hey everybody, this is Zero, and I think it's time to take a look at the deck and perhaps make some changes. Now I've already decided on I'm swapping out 5 cards. I'm just going to do that and show you. This is how the deck is originally, and I'm just going to walk you through it and kind of explain my choices, right or wrong. They're not necessarily good choices. They could be good, could be bad. I'm not an expert at this game, like I always say. So, but anyway, yeah, right or wrong. These are the changes I decided to make. Okay, so the deck isn't very critical on the Wind Fury Harpy combo anymore, with the changes to charge. So I think I'm going to drop down a Wind Fury Harpy, and I decided to swap that with the one legendary that I have, which is... Nope, he's also 6'5", Kieran Bloodhoof. Now, he's got the same stats, except for just a Death Rattle, summon a 4/5 Bane Bloodhoof. That could obviously end up being silenced. But I think I'm far more likely to play him before turn 9, which is usually when the Wind Fury Harpy comes out. Otherwise, the Wind Fury Harpy just dies. So it's probably a bit of a bullet sponge, a bullet magnet. But anyway, okay, so moving on. I decided to drop the Arathi Weaponsmith. I get a 2/2 weapon. I just feel at 4 cost you could probably do better. And what I swapped her with is... Actually, nope. Let's go there. Another Kor'kron Elite. It just gives me more options, a bit more charge. And I can immediately do 4 damage. So I hate to drop down a weapon, to lose a weapon, but I think I think this is a bit more effective. Okay, and what else? The Warsong Commander, she's really lost a lot of her use since the patch, since she was nerfed down to 3 or less. Give it charge. She still costs the same as a charge, yet she doesn't confer any other bonuses, and typically she ends up dying immediately, because, well, a lot of bad things can happen, right? So I don't find too much use for her. So I think I'll swap her out, and I decided to swap her for something a little bit different, something that I don't have in this deck, which is a taunt. Probably, I don't know if it's the greatest taunt, but I looked at it just because it has Enrage, and you know, I have a lot of cards that can easily proc it. So, you know, if I throw it out onto the board and it ends up surviving, then I have some options with it as well. I could maybe proc it, and it can at least buy me a little bit more time sometimes. Although, yeah, this isn't a very taunt-heavy deck, so it might be a bad decision, but it synergizes a lot better, I think, with some of the cards I have. Okay, next up is the Reckless Rocketeer. He just dies right away whenever I use him. Basically, a fireball is what some other players I watch call him. So I swapped him out for a similar 6 cost, which is the Argent Commander. 1 less attack, but it's got the Divine Shield, so if I use him, he'll at least survive. And it's more charge, although I've kind of lost some charge because of dropping the Warsong Commander, but there you go. And the last change, it was a bit difficult to make, and again, I sometimes question all my decisions just because I'm not really a deck builder. But I decided to drop an Amarni Berserker. I've gotten really good results with an Amani, especially in early game if my opponent couldn't remove it. But a lot of times after that, I really didn't have a play with it unless if I could charge it, and otherwise it'll immediately die. So I think I'm gonna drop it 1, and this is probably where I'll get a lot of might get a lot of grief. But I'm gonna trade it for a 1 cost, and I'm actually gonna pick the Elven Archer, which seems kind of insane because I'm trading out all that potential damage for this little weenie. But I just really love her deal 1 damage, and I can deal it to anybody on the board. It combos very well with Execute. And there's also a lot of enraged minions and the Gurubashi Berserker, which can sort of take advantage of that deal 1 damage to proc it, so that I can. There's often times where I even could charge out a Berserker onto the board, and I said, well, what's the point? It will die before it even gets procced, and I won't get its full utility, its full use. So it is a bit of a weird play, I think, going from a 2 cost down to a 1 cost. But I think the utility of being able to deal that 1 damage to anybody is really key. And even sometimes there's some cases where, I'll have my Arcanite and I'll need to take down a 6 cost minion or a 6 health minion, and just having that 1 extra damage available to you really helps, without having to burn something maybe a little bit more expensive, or a little bit more useful, like the Inner Rage. But anyway, so those are my thoughts, my changes. Feel free to comment with any of your any feedback, positive or negative. And yeah, thanks for watching.